Hey guys, Adam from Pink Plastic Computers here again, and I would call this an unboxing, but I've actually unboxed it, and I couldn't get it back in the box. I'm one of those people that can never fold a map back once I've opened it, and I can never get things back in boxes. If it took a lot of time, I probably could, but this is a review of the CIT Glacier AIO Watercooler. So in other words, an AIO liquid cooler for your CPU. This is a 240mm version, so it comes pre-installed with two RGB 120mm fans. We also do this in a 120mm version, so a singular fan, so if you've got a more restricted build, you could use that. And we also do now offer some 360mm RGB AIO coolers. Personally, I've gone for this one because I'm doing an entire build which is using CIT products. This is a CIT Pro range, the same as a power supply that we also offer. And we do this in black and we do this in white. And this is going in a black build. And I'm going to be using the RGB on this to match in with some RGB fans that I've already got installed in the case. Now, as I said, I have opened this up and I have made a bit of a mess of opening it up, but I suppose it should be easier now, but when you do open it up, everything comes in these nice soft touch bags that don't scratch the plastic, which are really good. And the actual cooler itself is here. So let's just go through it and what we've got in the box. So this is the cooler, and you can see it comes with two 120mm white bladed RGB fans. They do also though have what they call Infinity Mirror. They're basically mirrored in the middle of the fan, which looks really good in a build, actually, because it reflects all the RGB lighting and what's going on in the PC. So it might sound like a gimmick, but it actually looks really, really cool. And the actual cooler itself has got what's called Infinity Mirror on it as well. So I like that because there's no random branding or anything listed on it. It is literally going to give me a nice swirl of all the RGB colours and a mirrored effect. So you could match this in quite easily with other product ranges. You know, if you've got fans made by Corsair, Thermaltake, Game Max, something like that, and you're worried about having different brand logos all over your machine, this thing is pretty vanilla when it comes to branding. In terms of quality, this is seriously heavy. This is a good bit of kit. You've got a nice, big, huge copper plate on the base there. There is obviously a plastic sticker on there. If you're going to fit this, make sure that you remove that first before you put your thermal paste on. And in terms of what comes in the box, you obviously get this. And also it's worth checking this as well. Bear in mind, this is an AIO cooler that's in the kind of £50 price bracket, you know, and AIO coolers can go up to £300. And you can get ones that have got, displays showing what the temperature of the CPU is. And we actually offer those, of course, as well. But for a budget build or a mid-tier build, this is absolutely going to be fine. You've got a huge cooler on there, as I said, with a massive copper plate. Great thing about the CIT range is the amount of socket types that this fit is crazy. I mean, this will fit an AM4, an AM5, pretty much all the LGAs. So this will work on an Intel build, an AMD build, and give you really good support. But if you look at the actual radiator itself, I always think it's worthwhile checking this out because this isn't an insanely expensive piece of hardware. So sometimes you may expect some manufacturing defects, but the radiator itself is absolutely immaculate. There's not a single dent, scratch, slightly one bent, nothing like that. And fitting it's going to be nice and easy. The fans came pre-installed, and you can see there's 8 mounting screw holes on there. So wherever you're mounting this, you're going to be screwing in from the external side, so the top of the case, the back of the case, depending on what case, or the side of the case, depending on what you've got. The fans themselves, they're great as well because they come with a 4-pin PWM splitter, so they're both connected to that. So on most conventional motherboards, you're going to have a CPU cooler header, and you're going to have a cooler header, or fan header. This would go on your CPU cooler one, and then obviously you can control it via software, or you can control it via the BIOS, which will control the speed of these fans, which of course will increase or decrease depending on the temperature of your CPU. But the fact it's chucking the heat out via a radiator, I'm expecting our CPU to stay nice and chilly with this and not get too hot. In terms of the RGB element, it is a nice conventional 3-pin RGB that also has the ability to daisy chain other ones off it. So if you really want to go to the max and get as many RGB lights and fans and things in your case, this is going to be easy to wire in because obviously you can daisy chain the fans off it as well. In terms of the other stuff that you get in the box, you are going to get, if I can find it, where have I put it, a big bag of connections and brackets and screws, and obviously an instruction manual. Now, these AIO coolers, I always find that hard to say, which are a bit more universal, that fit multiple sockets, well worth reading the instructions. Even me, who has built a lot of PCs and has fitted many of these, I still always look at the instructions. And the key reason why is on the back of your motherboard, let's just say, for example, you're using an AM4 platform, AMD, which are probably our most popular. You're going to take off the existing mounting plate that's on the back of the motherboard and the two mounting brackets, which have got a big screw in each top and bottom. And at the moment, if you've got an air cooler, that's obviously then bolted onto those brackets. What you're going to do is we're going to be replacing it with this. So this is going to be going to the underside of your motherboard, and you're going to be effectively bolting a new bracket on the other side of the motherboard around the socket and then fitting the cooler on top of that. But because it is a universal, you'll see that these little screw holes, and depending on what socket that you want to go for, you're going to need to pull these in or out. And it says in very small writing, and it is very small, I really don't think it's going to show up on the camera, what socket relates to how far out this is in or out. So make sure you put it on the right one. You'll know because it won't fit any other way, but do read that and make sure that you use the right brackets and bolts relating to your CPU and your CPU socket type. But in terms of the fittings and stuff, they're really nice. Even the thumb screws that are going to be visible within the PC build, these are really thick and chunky and they're knurled metal. So it's a nice looking fan. The other ones that you've got on here as well are spring mounted, so that reduces any risk you're going to have of damaging your CPU, which is obviously important. No one wants to spend £50 on an AIO cooler and then take out their CPU in the process of fitting it. And they do also include, although I don't know, I cannot vouch for the quality of it, a nice little thermal paste and even a spatula to put your thermal paste on with. To be fair, as it is a liquid cooler, you're probably going to be okay with just using this thermal paste anyway. Whereas if you were using an air cooler or a tower cooler, I would nearly always recommend using something made by Arctic or Grismonkey or something like that, like a high quality paste. I won't be using this paste personally. I will be using the same paste that we use on all of our builds. But yeah, so that is the CIT Glacier AIO Watercooler Pro 240mm with an Infinity Mirror, and that's the name of what that, obviously the CPU cooler itself, it is, and all the accessories. This is available in our store. It's going on a brand new build, which I'm doing today, so I will upload a video and I tag that to this one so you can see what it looks like in an actual build. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I appreciate your time, and check you out in our next video. Cheers then, bye.
Hi guys, you can now see this AI cooler in a finished build. We paired it up with 6 matching RGB fans, and you can see they all synchronize perfectly, and the Infinity Mirror in the center of the cooler also has RGB, so it looks fantastic. Really easy to fit in the end. I didn't need to actually remove the rear plate from the AM4 bracket. You simply take it off, put on new plastic brackets and spin them their way around, and it's so easy to fit. Really pleased with it, would thoroughly recommend it.